Hello everyone, Russell Cormack's Pets here. This is my new small backswimmer tank. Bugs in Cyberspace sent me these small backswimmers a few months ago, and I had them in a temporary enclosure to make sure that I could keep them alive satisfactorily, and they did really well. And so I set up this enclosure to attempt to breed them. So let's talk a little bit about what is in the enclosure. This is a 2.5 gallon enclosure from a big box pet store. It has a light and a filter. I removed the filter. You can see there's no water movement of any kind in this tank. The backswimmers appear not to need it and may do better without much water movement. Some water movement is probably fine, but I was ruling out factors when I tried to take care of them beforehand, and one of the possible things that did them in was the filter. And when I first attempted to keep them and they didn't do well. And another possible issue was predation from things like the large whirligig beetles in the enclosure. So that is the reason why these are isolated, as well as the fact that I intend to breed them. You can see that I have large pebbles in the bottom, and then an Anubias plant, a live Anubias plant, and then the Vallisneria on the right is a fake plant. I also have a few ram's horn snails. You can see one in the bottom, actually in the top right corner, up near the cork bark haul out, which I have provided. I provide haul outs to all of my aquatic insects so that they can leave the water if they want to, and it may provide an egg deposition site. I'm not sure exactly where they will prefer to deposit their eggs, but they do breed in captivity. They've been breeding for Peter and Jesse quite well, so I'm really excited to produce some of these myself. There are about 16 in here, I believe, and they seem to be really thriving. This is what I feed them principally. Daphnia, which I raise myself. You can see I have plenty of videos on my channel about how to raise Daphnia. They're pretty easy to do. And then I also give them flightless melanogaster fruit flies. I've tried the Heidi fruit flies. They seem a little big. They will take them, but they have buoyancy issues, especially the smaller backswimmers have problems. Because the Heidi fruit flies are so buoyant, they float up to the top and they struggle with it. The melanogaster are so small that they seem to be able to handle those much better, but they seem to prefer the Daphnia. So I'm going to add some Daphnia right now. And it won't be long before you see them beginning to capture the Daphnia, I am sure. You can see one already grabbed one. Oh, a couple of them have already grabbed Daphnia. Let's zoom in just a little bit. You can see what's going on. Oh, some nice captures there. So they have one pair of legs. These are true bugs, by the way, order Hemiptera, and they have one pair of legs that is modified to be the oars, so to speak, as they swim around, which you can readily see. And then much less visible are their other pairs of legs. The other two pairs of legs are basically modified to be raptorial, like little baskets that, since they're swimming upside down, their ventral surface towards the surface of the water and their dorsal surface towards the bottom of the aquarium. That's why they call them backswimmers. But their legs are on the top surface, which is the ventral surface, and that those legs are modified into organs to capture and hold their prey. And then they have piercing mouth parts, like other hemipterans, to pierce the Daphnia or the fruit fly or whatever they happen to be eating. Peter and Jesse at Bugs in Cyberspace report they also really like to eat ostracods or seed shrimp. I haven't tried that particular food, but I probably will in the future. So they're really quite engaging to watch. I find them very tranquil as they float through the water, and hopefully I will have good news and be able to demonstrate that they are indeed breeding for me, as they have been for Bugs in Cyberspace. Now, you might wonder how often to feed them. You might wonder how much to feed them. You can see I probably put 100 Daphnia in this tank, something like that. I didn't count them, obviously, but there's probably in excess of 100 Daphnia in this tank. By tomorrow, they'll be all gone. That doesn't mean you need to feed them every day, but because I am breeding them, I want to make sure they get plenty of food. So I have been trying to feed them every day, either fruit flies or Daphnia or both. The Daphnia, of course, go throughout the water column. The fruit flies float at the top, but they don't seem to hesitate. They'll go up to the top and just grab the fruit flies from the surface. So if you want to try to keep these Those are two foods you might want to consider having on hand. And I haven't made a care video for these yet because I don't feel like I really can until I've cared for them longer, but those are a few things that I have learned over time. And once I am breeding them regularly, I think I will feel qualified to make a care sheet. So stay tuned for that. And thanks to Bugs in Cyberspace for sending me these. If you want to check out their aquatic bug selection, here's a link down in the description as well that you can use to get some aquatic insects of your own. Thanks for watching. I post videos every Friday with live streams on Wednesdays, all on aquarium and vivarium pets. Please feel free to share, rate, comment, and if you haven't already,
subscribe.
And then tap the bell for all notifications so you don't miss my next video.